The story begins with a hero punching a robot narrating himself that life is good, with his wife Betty and 2 sons. By the time the Avenger gets there, Dr. Banner aka the Hulk, was praised by Captain America that he's a one-man army dealing with a group of Sentinels. When all is said and done, Wolverine and Thor left the place and a woman approaches the hero nearby. It's his wife Betty, telling him nothing could go wrong in life as the Hulk agrees with her and gave her a kiss. At his house, the family is having a dinner while contemplating that he inherited his father's dissociative disorder which created the Hulk. But he thinks it's long days gone and also that he's better now. Then the green-skinned son approaches the mother and tells her that they don't have to do what she say. He added, "Because you're dead." Hearing this shocks the Hulk, but Betty just dismisses it and just say the meatloaf is very good while Banner wants to know what's the kid talking about. And with a menacing smile on his face, the son continues she's dead, and so his 2 sons Thaddeus and Rick. Left dumbfounded, the Hulk keeps demanding answer from his wife but Betty seems to be glitching. He holds his loving wife with both hands asking have you lost your mind, as the woman replied an error has occurred and the program needs to be close. The room turns dark as the hero pauses for a minute. Behind him is Captain America again, explaining to him that Mysterio is just getting into his mind. But Bruce doesn't seem to remember the Avengers have fought a Mysterio before. Seconds later the simulation has been rebooted and he's back to the dinner. He is asked if now is better, but seeing his family is all that he needs, so he says yes. On second thought he disagrees, asking why Mysterio would do this to him but Captain America doesn't have the answer. His wife however wanted him to eat his dinner now, but this just angers the Hulk and yelled to the strange woman in front of him. Bruce wanted to leave the house to get some fresh air but the captain wanted him to stay put. He says he'll be back right away but as soon as he got out of the door, everything has changed around him comparing Mysterio to Doctor Strange's level of illusion. Next, the Avengers talk to him trying to calm him down and telling him about the lowering of the sun is just getting into him. "What are you talking about?" Hulk says, as Captain America tries again to reason with him. In an instant, he's now behind Banner and the hero can't take it anymore so he wants to leave. Someone then grabs his hand telling him not to go anywhere and it's Thor. He's not letting go and he's making it clear for Hulk to not move. For him, this is just a joke, so he takes a swing right out of Thor but strangely, he didn't hurt a thud or any sound after hitting him. After breaking his fall onto Wolverine and the captain, he orders the 2 to attack the hero. All the Avengers follow, but with just one clap of his hands, all of his opponents are pushed back at the same time. Then, Vision approaches him explaining that this is the only way in which he strongly disagrees. Vision now touches his forehead. He tried to hit back but for some reason it's only a specter of the man and he can't grab it. He begs for him to stop but of no use, the Hulk is actually strapped in some sort of machinery. He screams as loud as he can, but no one is there to help him. After gaining his consciousness to the real world, he snaps the wires that are attached to him triggering an alarm sound. For a moment, he noticed that he has grown his beard realizing he has been there for quite a long time now. A voice is heard telling him just to calm down, and it's a woman and a child, he even mistaken the young one as his child. Looking upon closely, it's no doubt that it's his dead son wondering how it is possible. He stands before the 2 telling them to get out of his way, but carries with him the astonished kid. But the little one doesn't want to go with the monster and he just yell wanting to go with his mother. The child's real name is Terry, and the woman still thinks it's just a misunderstanding. Looking around, all that he has is many questions, as the security arrives telling him to stop what he's doing. He realized now that he has been captured by the AIM soldiers now pointing their weapons at him. This just confirms everything here is real. Next he looks at them again telling the soldiers you are messing with the wrong man. The scared soldiers seems to be backing off as he approaches towards them, challenging them to open fire. He has his last warning and finally, the commander orders the attack. Bruce is surprised on how strong the impact is, pushing him far back to the wall. He admits that it packs some heavy punch on him, if this takes long he will black out for sure. But the determination inside a Banner won't allow him again to be captured. Then he uses his ultimate move of smashing the ground, and the soldiers are panicking on where he is. Upon approaching closely, they see a massive hole underneath them and there's nothing they could do but to alert the base. He smashed and smashed until he reached to the point where he found more people like him that is in suspended animation. He sees Vapor sleeping in the chamber, as well as Abomination and wonders what would AIM want from them. Minutes later the soldiers tracks him down, warning him to just surrender but the stubborn hero just charges towards them. This time, there's an invincible barrier in between them, catching the Hulk off guard then got shot again by the soldiers to the far wall. A voice is then heard telling the soldiers to stop the assault. A massive floating head is now before him and Hulk recognized him as MODOK. but the hero noticed that he looks somewhat 100 years older now. He asked the villain about the whereabouts of his family, and MODOK straight up tells him that they're long been gone. Banner thinks it's MODOK's fault who unalived them, so he starts charging at him, but the villain keeps telling him he did nothing. Strangely, he dares the hero to end his miserable life. He even yelled at him, but Banner seems to hold back this time. Next, he lifted MODOK to get up and explains to the hero that the one who fixes this place is long dead gone. Everything now keeps breaking down, including the program that is keeping the Hulk engaged from the simulation. Bruce asks who it is, and mentions many villain names. All he heard is the word they. Then MODOK starts screaming, blaming them for their stupid decisions. He reveals that it is the government, the Great Unwashed. He further explains that the two great nations convinced each other that they are both responsible for a nuclear weapon explosion and started attacking each other. Bruce wonders why he can't remember all of this, and MODOK explains it's because we have taken you and the others. They only took the ones who can withstand the radiation, gamma radiation, and cosmic rays. For the sake of surviving, him and the AIM soldiers have their family living just underneath the streets of Los Angeles, including the Hulk and others. So he should be thanking him, but the hero expresses his gratitude by pushing him on the ground. As he walks out of the room, he's expecting for them to stop him, but no one seems to really care this time. He continues to walk in the hallway thinking the past disasters the world has experienced, but the fact is, you can't save a world that's determined to destroy itself, he says. He leaves the facility by jumping and breaking the rooftop, and now that he is seeing it, he can't believe at first, but everything that MODOK said is true. Humankind is so damned self-destructive. MODOK follows him outside, then asking him why is he here. The Hollywood sign remains standing still among the rubbles on the surface of Earth. Then he convinced Banner to come back with him in the shelter. After 27 years they could come out again when the radiation is no longer around, but the hero is pessimistic about it, not wanting the humanity to rebuild again. MODOK tried again, convincing him that his friends await for him back there, but the Hulk just leaps off, leaving the villain behind. Moments later, he rearranged the letters of Hollywood to make it into his name in bold letters. Now on his own, he contemplates about trusting a villain like MODOK. He wants to be hopeful for the future, but on his mind humanity never knew nothing and he should get used to referring to them as past tense. He stands still at the top of the Mount Rushmore, admiring the remarkable work of the past people. He visits some of the places and investigates what happened there, including the Hoover Dam destroying the nearby towns. Then he goes to Las Vegas. He remembers he once lived here as Mr. Fix-It, but now he can't even fix anything around here. Animals are all gone due to non-greenery around to feed. He shed a tear, blaming the people who poisoned the forest, that causes the suffering of these poor animals. People used to believe that God has everything in plan. Then he gets angry for witnessing this cruelty in spite of having one. And then challenges God to get him next. He also visited the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., but same thing happened here. There's nothing but rubbles. He even talked to the former president Abe, who's still intact. Then he hears some footsteps behind him. He is surprised seeing a kid running in such a desolate place, so he got curious and starts following him. Subscribe to watch more videos like this. See you on the next one.